Ryan Reynolds is now trying to bully the court to try to put financial pressure on Justin Baldoni. You were the ones who started the lawsuit.
Blake Lively's very own legal team just turned the tables and exposed both her and Ryan Reynolds in the middle of a massive legal scandal they were frantically trying to cover up.
Lively and Mr. Reynolds are now seeking sanctions on the purported ground that certain allegations in their complaint are frivolous.
Apparently, attorney-client privilege means nothing when your clients toss you aside to save their sparkling PR image. Honestly, if you treat your lawyer like a throwaway napkin, don't be shocked when he becomes the courtroom's sharpest weapon.
The fact that it is Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively's sanctions motion that are frivolous.
Because Mike Gottlieb isn't here to play games, and he's certainly not here to be anyone's legal puppet.
You guys are trying to force down a narrative, and we are refusing to accept it.
And this time, the issue was that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team tried dragging him into their chaos, asking him to file a sanction against Justin Baldoni. Mike didn't just refuse. He exposed the entire circus.
You don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch, it's wild.
Insiders close to the case reveal Ryan's team wanted their lawyer to ask the court to penalize Baldoni for continuing the lawsuit, not because it lacked proof, but because it was inconvenient. That's what a sanction means. Legal lingo for make him pay and shut up. And here's where it gets shady. If Mike had followed through, he'd be risking serious ethical violations. We're talking disbarment or even jail time. Mike made it clear, this is not how the law works.
You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit, and Justin's proven fairly that a lot of what your wife is saying didn't seem to happen.
You can't just weaponize the court to silence someone because your image is in flames. You don't get to make your own rules just because you're Ryan Reynolds and your wife is Blake Lively. That might fly on Instagram, but not in federal court.
Again, demanding sanctions over the frivolous suit, which is a frivolous request.
And that's why Mike Gottlieb's name is now echoing through the scandal. Instead of covering for Blake and Ryan, he blew the lid off their scheme. He told them, if you need someone to commit legal suicide to protect your image, find someone else. He wasn't going to be that fool.
He's drowning the court yet again with more high-profile demands to go away. Ryan Reynolds has had enough of these utterly frivolous. I mean, I feel like I've read this story 4 times already.
Now let's break down what Ryan's team wanted. They pushed for financial sanctions against Baldoni, basically asking the court to slam him with major monetary penalties for allegedly wasting court time.
Justin's defending himself, so it's different for me. You're constantly out there trying to say, no, we're victims! Believe us, we're victims!
But here's the kicker. We're still in discovery. That's the phase where both sides gather evidence, witness statements, and documents. And Ryan's team wanted to skip all that. No discovery, no facts, just silence. That's not a legal argument. That's a tantrum. And Mike saw it from a mile away.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Talk about frivolous.
What Ryan tried to pull, in plain terms, was financially destroy Baldoni before he even got the chance to defend himself. It's the rich guy's classic move. Drain your opponent until they can't fight back. But Mike called it what it was. A manipulative power play dressed up as legal strategy.
Wayfarer Party's complaint contains substantial factual allegations supported by a mountain of evidence. We anticipate that the court will agree, and they will.
And here's where it gets uglier. If Mike had filed that baseless sanction request, knowing it held no legal weight, he could have been charged with abuse of process, or worse, obstruction. That's how serious it is. And Ryan isn't just facing a lawsuit, he's fighting for the biggest contract of his career.
Through Fox, through everything, that he's in bed with them. They can't afford to cut him loose, but they can have a talk and tell him, Ryan, this is not good.
Beneath all the legal drama and PR chaos lies a hard truth. Ryan only has one major contract left with Disney via the Fox merger. If he blows this, it's over. No more Marvel millions. No more Deadpool. No more Empire. Just a messy reputation Disney would rather forget.
Ryan seems to be so stubborn and aggressively trying to prove the proof is out there, and I don't know what this man is thinking.
But here's the twist. Disney can't drop him. Not directly anyway. His contract was signed years ago under Fox before the scandal exploded.
Bob Iger himself and Disney have been trying to get Ryan Reynolds to drop this nonsense. Just like Taylor Swift, just like everybody else involved, nobody wants to be involved in this.
Yet Disney contracts always come with an escape clause, a sneaky little term called the morals clause. In simple English, it means if Ryan does anything that hurts Disney's image, like a lawsuit involving blackmail and false narratives, they can terminate him regardless of the money. And guess who's watching closely? Bob Iger, the CEO himself.
A lot of folks are over this "it ends with us" lawsuit, and they want it to stop. And one of those people I hear now from multiple sources is Bob Iger himself, the CEO of Disney.
Multiple insiders claim Bob Iger is outright furious at Ryan's behavior. Not annoyed, not disappointed. Furious, because this lawsuit is now bleeding into Disney's clean-cut brand image.
Nobody wants to be involved in this. And now they've put on a brave face. They have made it clear they're not going to play nice pool with Justin over these Deadpool requests of getting information from the film.
It's poisoning the excitement around Deadpool 3, complicating marketing strategies, and handing the press courtroom drama instead of box office buzz. For a company built on billion-dollar brands and a spotless image, this is toxic.
It's Justin's right. This is all absolutely valid. This is not frivolous. He is demanding that they hold on to these documents so that he can do his discovery to figure it out.
So what does back off or burn really mean? It means Bob Iger personally delivered the message to Ryan. Stay out of the headlines, drop the drama, follow the rules, or this will be your final Marvel role.
That's what the case is for, Ryan. It's, you don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch. It's wild.
So they can't yank the contract yet without causing legal issues, but they can freeze him out, isolate him, and make sure he never gets another deal. It's like being quietly canceled. You're still at the table, but nobody's serving you dinner.
Meanwhile, Justin's out there feeling the financial weight. Now, to be fair, I'll call this out for what I see it is. To me, I believe this. I'm not trying to deny that he's not suffering, because he is. He is, make it clear. But this also conveniently is showing damages.
And yet, Ryan keeps charging ahead. Why? Because if he backs down or admits even a little fault, he loses control of the narrative. And Ryan Reynolds isn't just an actor. He's a brand. A billboard for charm, sarcasm, and success. To him, showing weakness means the media strikes, Disney panics, and he's toast.
Let's keep it a buck. The exclusive people source, they're smartly putting stuff out there to remind everybody Justin's not out there at premieres and launching stuff. He's still suffering, and he is.
That's why he's not just defending himself. He's trying to vanish from the scandal entirely. The strategy? Paint Justin Baldoni as the aggressor, the guy behind a baseless lawsuit, while Ryan plays the misunderstood millionaire protecting his family.
Honestly, good on them. Valid. It's valid. They are trying to keep him in there, keep the story going, but remind everybody of the stress that he's going through, which is real. And honestly, as you even say, but you know, he's a positive guy. And I do think he'll be okay at the end of this. I really do.
This isn't about winning in court. It's about protecting the Reynolds brand. If he can convince the public and press he's the victim, maybe Disney won't act on that morals clause. Maybe he survives, with Deadpool intact.
Ryan Freeman did respond. In the latest assault on Mr. Baldoni and other Wayfarer parties, Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds are now seeking sanctions on the purported ground that certain allegations in their complaint are frivolous.
But Brian Freridman wasn't buying it. He saw straight through the smokescreen. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was, as Freridman called it, a calculated and coordinated legal attack.
But anyway, now he's trying to ask the judge to ding Justin's team financially.
And Ryan's push for sanctions? That wasn't justice. It was payback. An attempt to drain Baldoni's resources, halt discovery, and bury this lawsuit beneath paperwork and celebrity status. Freridman called it out, publicly, and the whole strategy unraveled.
As yeah, the Deadpool star on Tuesday hit back against JB and his team with a request for monetary sanctions, which they say is reaction to the preposterous defamation lawsuit that makes a mockery of the legal system.
Because instead of quietly killing the case, Ryan made it louder. Now the courts are watching, Disney is watching, the public is watching. Every desperate move he makes doesn't look strong, it looks panicked. And the truth is, it is panic. Ryan's not just scared of losing a case, he's scared of losing everything.
And meanwhile, she's out there launching new hair care lines and calling everything frivolous. I don't see him out there doing you are a mockery, Blake. This whole thing was a mockery. Your whole inability to accept some bad press shows how thin-skinned you were back in August.
Do you really think Blake Lively is panicking over a failed PR spin? No, Ryan's the one sweating. He's terrified of being dropped by Marvel, of his billion-dollar image shattering like glass. And now that even Disney's CEO is warning him to stop, and he won't, you have to wonder, what is he so afraid of revealing?
This idea that they put out Kirsty's interview, give me a break!
Let's be real. Ryan's power in Hollywood only lasts as long as people believe the image, the charming husband, the funny guy, the star. If that collapses under scandal, he doesn't just lose fans. He loses deals, studios, endorsements. And Disney doesn't do damage control. They cut you out like a tumor. That's when the panic starts to reek.
Ryan Reynolds is now trying to bully the court to try to put financial pressure on Justin Baldoni to drop what he's calling the frivolous lawsuit.
Because when you label a lawsuit as frivolous before discovery, before any evidence is shown, you're not defending yourself. You're trying to kill the process. That's not a strategy. That's preemptive sabotage.
Now Blake Lively's team wants to know what this company found out.
Let's break it down. Discovery is where both sides collect facts, review documents, depose witnesses, the part where the truth comes out. And what does Ryan's team want? For Baldoni to never reach that point. No documents, no depositions, no facts, just shut it all down and pretend it never existed. That's not a defense. That's a cover-up.
And Blake Lively did not want to participate in this investigation. She also turned down any investigation that the CRD complaint, after she filed that, they offered to investigate for her, and she declined that.
Here comes the legal bombshell. Rule 11 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. This rule clearly states that any motion, like a motion for sanctions or to dismiss, must be based on facts and legitimate legal reasoning, not personal vendettas or PR narratives. If someone files such a motion recklessly or just to antagonize the other party, both they and their lawyer risk being sanctioned. That's right. If Ryan's team filed this with no solid ground, they could be the ones in serious trouble for turning legal proceedings into a strategic game.